Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read S5 5016 Basketball's Greatest Players by S.A. Kramer. What's the hardest sport around? Basketball. At 48 minutes of non-stop action. Take your eyes off the court for an instant and you'll miss a slam dunk. A behind the back path or a sneaky steal. Basketball is the only sport completely developed in America. A Massachusetts teacher, Dr. James Naismith, invented the game with his wife's help in 1891. Today, people shoot hoops all over the world, from college campuses to NBA arena. Basketball keeps fans on the edge of their seats, and nobody plays it better than the man of the NBA. Fans love to argue about who is the greatest. This book tells you all you want to know about the best players ever. Defense, college ball, 1953. The game between the University of San Francisco and Brigham Young University has just started. Bill Russell, a sophomore, second-year student, is a San Francisco center. At 6'10", he can outjump everyone on the floor. 5 seconds go by. The man Bill's guarding dribbles around him. When the man goes in for an easy layup, San Francisco captain scowls at Billy. "Why don't you try playing some defense?" he hisses. Bill gets angry. He knows the captain doesn't like him. Bill is black and the captain is white. They sometimes clash because of that. There and then, he decides he will show the captain exactly what defense is. He says, "I made up my mind to be a championship basketball player." No emotion crosses Bill's face. He sticks to his man as though his life were at stake. The player doesn't score another point. Later, Bill realizes that he's proof that defense can win games. From now on, he vows that's what he will concentrate on. Other centers feel defense is unimportant. If they don't have the ball, they just stand around the basket. When they block shots, they slap the ball hard into the stand. Bill shows them a whole new way of playing. He makes defense lead to fast breaks and scoring. Timing his lips. He tips block shots to teammates racing down court. He tears around the floor, stealing balls and grabbing rebounds. In 1956, Bill joins the NBA. He is the Boston Celtics' only black player. His style of play single-handedly changes basketball defense. The league is startled when Bill doesn't care about his own statistics. He can score easily, but he won. Celtics don't need another point from him to win. They count on him to make sure the team works together. Bill becomes the greatest team player ever. With him in the middle, Celtics win 11 championships in 13 years. 8 of them are in a row. No other team in any sport has accomplished such a feat. But, but Bill is never popular with the fan, a loner. He keeps his distance from almost everybody. After a while, he even refuses to sign autographs. He doesn't care if he's liked. He just wants to be respected. Not many people know the real Bill, who was born poor in a small Louisiana town. Because he was black, white kids threw rocks at him. The two races were so separate. Young Bill hardly ever spoke to any whites. When he was 12, his mother died suddenly to this day. Bill hasn't gotten over it, but he has learned to act tough. Even in a game, he hides his true feeling. He seems calm on the court, yet he often throws up before he plays. There's one thing Bill never hides, his pride in his race. Bill is one of the first black athletes to speak out against prejudice. The Celtics named him the first black head coach in professional sports. After his retirement, he is the first black sportscaster on national TV. Bill may have scored fewer than 15,000 points, but his defense and team play made him a great champion. That's why in 1980, he was named the best basketball player ever by the Professional Basketball Writers Association of America. Bill knows there is no higher honor in the game. Chapter 2 Score Hershey, Pennsylvania, March 2nd, 1962. The Philadelphia Warriors and the New York Knicks are about to play one of the last games of the season. Will Chamberlain, the Warriors' star center, barely notices he's tired. He didn't get any sleep that night before, but he knows he'll do well anyway. Wilt's proud and always needs to be the best. He wrapped a rubber band around his right wrist. It's his good luck charm. 4,000 fans have come to see Wilt play. At 7-1, he is the NBA's first giant superstar. His height and length have changed the game forever. Before Wilt, centers were much taller than other players. They didn't weigh close to Wilt's 270 pounds. Few could control the ball and pour in the points. Now every team wants someone like Wilt, a huge scoring center who can take over the game. Wilt is an Iron Man. He doesn't play as if he is pushed. In the first half alone, he scored 41 points. Sweat pours off him. As always, he changes his jersey at halftime. Then he drinks half a gallon of milk to put liquid back into his body. In the second half, Wilt keeps piling on the points. There is no defense against his deeper dunk, which he stops hard through the net. No one can stop the fadeaway jumper he shoots while falling away from the hoop. He also uses the finger roll, gently sliding the ball off his fingers into the basket. Now the game is in the fourth quarter. Wilt has over 80 points. The fans start yelling. They want him to score 100 points. No one has ever done it before. The Knicks are determined to stop Wilt. They hang all over his back. They pound him with foul, but Wilt's teammates get him the ball. And Wilt keeps scoring. A minute to go. Wilt has 98 points. Now he is truly exhausted. He's played the entire game. Can he make one last basket? He gets the ball, shoots, and misses. A teammate grabs the rebound and passes it back to Wilt. Wilt slips past the defense and goes in for a layup. Swish! He's scored 100 points, an NBA record that has never been broken. Fans rush the court. The Warriors win 169-147. Wilt escapes to the locker room, where he sits quietly on a bench. Everyone is excited, but Wilt stares at the scoring sheet. He can't quite believe what he's done. The game becomes a legend. Wilt has made 36 baskets and 28 free throws. He's also pulled in 25 rebounds. Some sports writers feel it's the game of the century. Fans are surprised. Wilt has set a record. He's been a great athlete ever since he was a teenager. By the age of 14, he was 7 feet tall. His huge size made him perfect for many sports. Back then, Wilt hated his long, skinny legs. Wherever he went, he would try to sit down so people wouldn't stare at him. His friends called him Dip because he had to bend down to get through the way. Basketball made Wilt feel better about himself. It gave him a way to use his size. He practiced up to 7 hours a day. He was fast and could jump 50 inches straight up in the air. His hands were so big that one coach said he handled the basketball like you or I would a grapefruit. To build up his strength, he worked out with 5,500 weight. Wilt had a great college career at the University of Kansas. After graduating in 1959, he joined the NBA. Back then, most players were white. Wilt was black and the biggest player of all, so every move he made was watched carefully by the fan. Experts expected any team Wilt the Stilt played on to be a champion. Wilt felt pressured to win right away. He took the court and scored and rebounded at will. Between 1960 and 1973, he nearly ruled the game. Wilt led the league in rebounds 11 times and was the top scorer 7 years in a row. In 1,045 games, he never once fouled out. Yet his team won the finals only twice. Sports writers and fans blamed Wilt. They felt he was not a team player. Wilt hogged the ball, they said. He choked making foul shots and didn't move around the court. Unlike his arch rival, Bill Russell, he couldn't get his team to work together. As he grew older, Wilt changed his game. He took fewer shots, made more of them. He passed off to teammates who scored. In 1916, he became the only center to lead the league in assists. Traded from Philadelphia to the Lakers that same year, he started to play strong defense. In 1971-72, he led them to a 33-game winning streak and the championship. Wilt always said, "Where there is a Wilt, there is a way." He said the fit. Even as he aged, running in marathon. But in 1999, he died suddenly at the age of 63. Fans will always remember him as one of America's basketball's greatest players. Skyhook, May 10, 1974. The sixth game of the NBA Final. Fans in the Boston Garden are going wild. The Celtics are beating the Milwaukee Bucks 101-100 in double overtime. There are 7 seconds left in the game. The Bucks have the ball. They know this is the last chance. Their star center, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, grabs a pass from the sideline. Kareem hasn't given up. No player hates to lose more. There is no time to waste. Kareem tries to pass the ball, but his teammates near the basket are closely guarded. He's going to have to take the shot himself. 7-2, Giant dribbles once, then turns. The clock shows 3 seconds. Kareem feels as if he's in slow motion. The fans are screaming, but he doesn't hear them. The players speed near him, but he sees no one. It's as though he is completely alone. Kareem's back is to the basket. Suddenly, he lifts into the air. His right leg bends, but his left leg stays straight. With his left arm, he keeps the Celtics away. With his right arm, he raises the ball high above his head. He balances it there on his fingertip. With a flick of his second, Kareem guides the ball toward the hoop. The fans hold their breath. It's his famous sky hook. Kareem first made this shot in college because he wasn't allowed to dunk. He scored too many points. Whenever he shot, the skyhook is as graceful as a dolphin. Now the ball drops through the basket. The net doesn't even move. 2 points. The Bucks win 102-101. Kareem lifts his arms in triumph. He's won another one for his team. Later, he says he felt all power was mine. But the Celtics win the next game, take the series. Fans everywhere, though, remember how Kareem won Game 6. He's always been a clutch player. For years, he's been a basketball sensation. He thrilled the fans as a young boy, and he has never stopped. Kareem was the talk of basketball by the time he reached 8th grade. His skinny body and long arms seemed meant for the sport. The taller he grew, the better he got. He was just 7 feet tall at the age of 14. Young Kareem hated being famous. He was a serious student who loved music and books. Quiet and shy, he disliked attention. His greatest wish was to be the same height as his friends. Being famous, Kareem said later, pushed me inside myself. He learned to keep his feelings secret. On the court, he hid his emotion. Sometimes he was so calm, he looked as if he just didn't care. Fans complained he didn't play the game hard. They were wrong. Kareem wanted to win every time he get on the court. And when he did, he scored and scored everywhere he played. In college, his team, UCLA, lost only 2 games in 2 years. In the NBA, he led the Bucks to 1 championship and the Los Angeles Lakers to 5. No one could keep Kareem away from the hoop. Season after season, he was a leader in scoring and rebounding. One of basketball's most consistent athletes, he played more years and scored more points than anyone else. For most of his career, Kareem was the tallest man in the game. When opponents tried to guard him, they could never reach over him. Going for the ball, they often accidentally scratched his eyes. After his eyes were hurt for the 6th time, Kareem began to wear goggles. They made him seem even tougher on the court. Despite his size, Kareem never pushed the players around. He didn't like fighting, never talked trash. But opponents knew they would better watch out if he lost his temper. Once he slugged a player who elbowed him hard, Kareem broke his own hand, knocked the man unconscious. Kareem was a superstar, yet the sport could make him anxious. To clear his mind before a game, he often read a newspaper or a book, always forced to leave the locker room. He had trouble sleeping when he got home. Frequently, he had severe headaches called migraines. His religion comforted him. Although he was born a Catholic, he became a Muslim in college. He dropped his old name, Lou El-Sindor, and chose a new name, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It means noble, generous, and powerful servant of God. It was a fitting name to take with him into the record books as basketball's greatest scorer. Chapter 4, The Leader. Larry Bird is angry. He stormed into the locker room. It's January 18, 1986. His Boston Celtics are playing badly. At halftime, the Atlanta Hawks are crushing them by 27 points. Even worse, the Hawks and the fans seem to be laughing at the Celtics. Larry knows his team is the best in the league, but in the past 3 weeks, they've gotten lazy. If someone doesn't shake them up now, they could blow their chance at the championship. Larry snatches up a chair. He hurls it across the locker room. Then he throws another and another. Chairs are flying all around. Soon he's screaming at his teammates, shouting insults at them. When Harry doesn't win, he's unhappy. Basketball is the most important thing in his life. The Celtics don't argue with Larry. He's their leader, a forward who can shoot, pass, and rebound. He runs the team. His unselfish style makes them all better players. Many experts feel he's the best forward the game has ever seen. When halftime is over, Larry leads his team onto the floor. He's got them fired up. If he plays well now, they will follow. By the end of the 3rd quarter, he just scored a 17 point. His passing is sharp. He always finds the open man. All over the court on defense, he anticipates the Hawks' every move. Larry's play inspires the Celtics. In the 4th quarter, they make the move. They catch the surprise Hawks and win the game in overtime, 125-122. One of basketball's best team players. Larry had sparked the victory, and he just scored 41 points. Yet, back in college, a few coaches expected Larry to make it in the NBA. He was a basketball hero at Indiana State, but he couldn't jump well and was often the slowest man on the floor. The coaches didn't count on Larry's determination, even in high school. Basketball was all I thought about, all I wanted to do, he said. Back then, he practiced at night, on weekends, even in the rain at 6 a.m. Every school day, he would shoot free throws for an hour and a half. Larry loved to practice. Basketball made him feel good about himself. He was a shy, skinny kid who didn't know much about the world. His family was very poor. His father died, had killed himself. When Larry was only 19, his mother worked so hard that she was hardly ever home. Larry learned to be careful with money. He was a neat, quiet boy at home. But on the court, he was different. With a ball in his hand, he was tough and in control. He carried his basketball everywhere. He worked on his dribbling, even when he sat down. One season, he broke his ankle, but insisted on practicing anyway. He learned how to pass the ball while leaning on crutches. Larry had to do everything perfectly in college. His points came easy, but Larry knew the NBA wouldn't be the same. So when he joined the Celtics, he always prepared carefully for a game. To warm up, he took 60 jump shots. He studied every move possible to make up for being slow. Once he took the floor, he knew where the ball was every moment of the game. His great balance and footwork made him a reliable shooter. Larry showed how good he was right from the start. In his rookie year, he helped the Celtics achieve the biggest season turnaround in NBA history. The year before, the team's record had been 29-53. With Larry on board, the record improved to 61-21. On the court, no one frightened him. He trash talked, even to all the stars. On player party, he'd always say, "In your face, or you can guard me." Whatever he could use to throw you off balance. No athlete had more confidence. He knew he could make the winning shot. His passing was fearless. He'd hit a man 80 feet down court. While Larry was a Celtic, the team won 3 NBA crowns. Larry retired from basketball, a wealthy man, but to this day he hasn't changed his habit. He watches his money carefully. Friends joke. He'll dive to the floor for a nickel. Even the perfectionist, he's just so neat that his mother calls him Mr. Clean. He still wants to win so badly. He gets mad when he loses at ping pong. When he wasn't playing basketball, Larry could seem clumsy. Even now, he can manage to knot his own tie. But his hands were sure and steady whenever they had the ball. He brought his winning ways to coaching in 1997. With the Indiana Pacers, Larry was named the Coach of the Year his very first season. By 2000, he had taken the team to the NBA Final. The same year, Larry retired again. He has left his mark on his sport, both as a player and as coach. Larry Bird. Chapter 5. The Greatest. Michael Jordan has a dream. More than anything, he wants to make his high school basketball team. He's only in the 10th grade, but already he's 5-11. Terrific athlete, he thinks he can pass a tryout. If he makes the team, he will feel better about himself. Right now, he's very insecure. Kids tease him about his haircut. They poke fun at the way his ears stick out. When he shoots hoops, his friends laugh because his tongue hangs out. Michael goes to the tryout. 2 weeks later, the list goes up. He can't wait to see the list, but he doesn't want to read it alone with a friend by his side. He said, "I looked and looked for my name. It isn't there." Michael feels numb. When he gets home, he says, "I went to my room and I closed the door and I cried." But he doesn't give up. He hates being disappointed. When summer comes, he practices basketball every day. By the time school starts, Michael has grown more than 4 inches. His new height makes it easier for him to score. Practice has helped him understand how the game should be played. When he tries out for the team this time, he makes it. All his hard work has paid off. Michael is a good high school player, but not even his friends think he'll make it to the NBA. Only a few colleges want him to play for their team, but the University of North Carolina decides to take a chance, and Michael erases all doubt with just one shot. It's 1982 during his first year at the university. He's a skinny guard for the Tar Heels, the basketball team. They are playing in the NCAA final. With just seconds to go, they are 1 point behind. 17 feet from the hoop, Michael gets the ball. The Tar Heels' chance at the championship is now in his hands. He coolly takes a jump shot. It looks as if he's sure it's going in, and it does. He's won the game. His basket is nicknamed The Shot. Michael is an instant star. Throughout his college years, he gets better and better. In 1984, he joins the NBA's Chicago Bulls. He wins the scoring crown in his rookie year. Whenever he has the ball, he seems unstoppable. He can get shots off anytime, three-pointers, reverse layups, over the shoulder jams. No one looks as fast. No one jumps as high. Michael can even make foul shots with his eyes closed. Soon everyone in America wants to see Michael Jordan play. They gasp when he lifts and seems to hang in the air. Tongue out, he floats to the basket as though he'll never come down. When he flies toward the hoop, he can shift the ball from hand to hand. It never slips because his hands are so gigantic. Michael is a skilled passer and rebounder who also plays superb defense. He rarely feels tired. His arms and legs are strong from lifting weights. When the Bulls need a basket, he always gets the ball. He says, I love it when it comes down to that one moment and it's all in my hands. He's a nice guy off the court, but watch out when he's got the ball. When he talks trash to opponent, they don't usually talk back. No one wants to get Michael angry. He plays even better when he's mad. Experts quickly recognize Michael as the greatest basketball player ever. He leads the Bulls to 3 NBA titles in a row. His talent and charm make him the world's most popular athlete. Michael turns basketball into the sport everyone wants to play. The game makes him a millionaire, but he doesn't become a snob. He still cleans his own house, mends his own clothes. Without bragging about it, starts a foundation for needy children. He wears a pair of sneakers only once, giving them away to kids after each game. Then in 1993, his father is murdered. He was Michael's best friend. Michael is overwhelmed with grief. Suddenly, basketball doesn't seem important anymore. Michael retires. He plays baseball for a while, but it's not his sport. He was born for basketball. So in 1995, he returns to the Bull. Fans everywhere welcome him back. He hasn't lost a set from 1996 to 1998. He leads Chicago to 3 more NBA championships. Twice, he's voted MVP. Still the best player on the court, he retires again in 1999. But Michael can stay away. In 2000, he buys part of the Washington Wizards. He also becomes president of their basketball operation. Then in 2001, he puts on a uniform again, playing with his team. He says it's the best way to teach them how to win. His last game is in 2003, but fans suspect that Michael won't be able to stay away. Whether as a player, coach, executive, owner, he'll be back in basketball soon. The end. Oh, wait a minute. Chapter 6. Bill, Wilt, Kareem, Larry, and Michael, they are the top players in basketball history, but other athletes have achieved greatness too. Changing the game of basketball with their superb skill, here are a few of them. Elgin Baylor, first great jumper, hanging in the air, he scored in ways no one had seen before. Opponents could never tell whether he would shoot or pass. His teammates nicknamed him Motormouth, since he always seemed to be talking. It was easy to spot on the court. 4th highest career scoring average. Jerry West, such a physical guard. Broke his nose 8 times, his hand 3 times, and thumb once, superb in the clutch. One of the most consistent scorers ever. He could shoot from anywhere in the court. During a game, he showed his emotions easily. Teammates called him Tweety Bird because of his skinny leg, long arms, and high voice. Oscar Robertson, the Big O, was NBA's first big guard. 6'5", he was a strong physical player who avoided flash moves. Great believer in the basics of the game, Oscar killed you with the fundamental. so committed to perfection he would scream at teammates if they made a mistake. The top high school and college player of his time, he could pass, shoot, dribble, and rebound. Julius Erving, Dr. J, was the original slam dunker and the first player to dazzle fans with his lips. As graceful as a dancer, he was so exciting to watch. Opposing players forgot about the game and kept their eyes on him. He had hundreds of moves. No one could tell which hit to make when. That helped him score over 30,000 points. He's one of only two players to score over 30,000 points, grab over 10,000 rebounds, and make over 5,000 assists. Electrifying forward, he changed the style of the game. Earvin Magic Johnson Jr. was almost as famous for his smile as he was for his skill. He brought enthusiasm and emotion to the game. Along with the talent for seeing everything on the court at 6'9", he was a quick, tall guard who controlled the rhythm of a game. He could pass the ball as if he had eyes on the back of his head. The team player, he led the Lakers to 5 championships. Along the way, he picked up 3 MVP awards. Larry Bird once called him the perfect player. Dark nowadays, age high, positive. He retired from basketball, came back in 1996, then retired again. Shaquille O'Neal at 7'1" and more than 300 pounds. One of basketball's biggest men. He's also one of its strongest. His slam dunks, shatter backboards, break goals. Years from retiring, he is the youngest player to be named one of the 50 greatest in NBA history. 3-time Finals MVP, he has made the Lakers 3-peat NBA champs. Started playing in 1992. Shaquille O'Neal. The end.